Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, be who you want to be. Follow your dreams, not other people's dreams. The most important thing is that you have to remember you're only worth as much as you say you're worth. Tell yourself, I am the best. Tell yourself, I can. And never use these words, I can't. Because if you use the words, I can't, you will never succeed. People have the wrong impression about success. Success is not measured on the amount of money you have. Success is not measured on how much money you have in their pocket. Success is measured on, are you happy in life? Are you happy at your job? Are you happy in your relationship? Are you happy with who you are? Because if you're not, you need to change it. No one else. Remember, the words you speak control your thoughts. Your thoughts control your body controls your actions, and your actions become your characteristics. It's very important to believe in who you are and follow your dreams. Who cares what anyone else says? Everyone says, I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a ranger. I couldn't film a movie. I couldn't succeed. I was voted #1 in high school to fail. And guess what? I didn't listen to those people. And you shouldn't either. Right now, it's so important during this period of your life to reach and grab that opportunity. You got to remember, opportunities don't come to you. You have to get the opportunity. The opportunity is there. You just have to reach and grab it. And it's so important to follow these rules if you want to become anything you want to become. #1, we all have a purpose in life. We all have a purpose in life. What is your purpose? Do you really know what your purpose is? #2, you got to have passion. Have passion for what you want to become. Become passionate. I'm so passionate on what I want to do. I'm so passionate for the fans. I'm so passionate in my life. I'm so passionate about karate. I'm so passionate about making movies. You have to have passion. #3, patience. You got to have the patience. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to have the patience. And #4 is profit. But who cares about profit if you don't have the ladder to succeed? The ladder to succeed is you have to have a purpose. You have to have passion. You have to have patience, and next will come profit. Everybody wants to be big, rich, and famous, but you can't buy happiness with money. You have to deposit in people's emotional bank account. People have to deposit in your emotional bank account, because if they're not, then they're not your friend. And you don't need those people. You need to surround yourself with people that are going to build you up. Don't put yourself in a bucket full of crabs, because what happens in a bucket full of crabs is when you reach the top, another crab reaches you and pulls you back down. So no one's getting to the top because the crabs are pulling you back down. Are your friends pulling you down? Are other people pulling you down? Well, you need to stop, because it is up to you, my friend. You control it. This is the rudder in the engine of the boat and the airplane. What you speak is what you get. If you say, I can't never do this, I can never follow my dreams, look, they're not going to be easy. People want the shortcut in life, but you have to do the work. So if you're sitting there right now and you're thinking, you know what? I never reached my goal. I never succeeded, not on money, but I never succeeded on what I want to become. Get off your butt and do something today. Look in the mirror and tell yourself this: I can. I will. That's the most important thing to succeed. Success is not all about money. Success is about happiness. So if this video touched you and you feel this video in your heart, tag a friend, because I'm only here for me. So if I could be here for me in order to succeed and be happy in my heart to share this message, then if it works for you and it touches your heart, send it to someone else. This is all about depositing in your emotional bank account. Do something good for someone today. Tell them you are awesome. Tell yourself you are worth everything. Everyone is equal. Doesn't matter who you are. People come up and say, man, you're my first celebrity I ever met. I'm not a celebrity, I'm a person just like you. So the most important thing is follow your dreams, go after it, and follow the 4 Ps. You got the purpose, you got the passion, you got to have patience. And next will come profit. But who cares about profit? You can't take it with you when you die. But what you can do is leave a legacy. A legacy behind. When you're gone, people say, hey, I remember this dude. And I remember what he did for me. So, are you going to leave a legacy behind? If you do, let's do it today. I love you all, man. Thank you for taking this time. 86,400 seconds a day. And people just drain their brain. They don't train their brain. So thank you for spending that time, this precious time in life, to watch this video.
You know, I actually hadn't seen that video until now. I do apologize about the echo. I didn't have time to run a test. The original version was widescreen, so I literally spent like the last 20 minutes trying to fix it. Um, I actually didn't see the video. I just know that that's one of his last streams.
He said a lot of that word for word at his panel at Big Texas Comic-Con.
So, guys, before we begin, there's going to be no introductions today. We have, everybody's here. Deacon Rap, SJ. We have John as well. JSD. Jace always, and Keyblade Sonic. There's no skinny. There's no promotion of our cons, of our pages, of our channels. There's none of that today. Today's podcast is just going to be focused on Jason David Frank. For those of you that don't know, most of us found out at 2 in the morning, midnight, 3 in the morning, 1 o'clock in the morning, Saturday going into Sunday, that Jason David Frank had passed away. What a lot of people believe to just be a hoax was later confirmed by multiple sources, including TMZ. His actual representative confirmed. There's lots of tweets, lots of videos. Austin St. John, Amy Jo Johnson I believe is her name.
Yeah.
Walter Jones, David Yost. The other several Power Ranger actors have already made testimonies. We would have probably done something yesterday, but I had assumed that I was going to be on the Zeros to Heroes podcast, but that was canceled. Plus, I was in denial yesterday about the whole ordeal.
I think we all were.
Right. It's kind of hard to wake up one day and you find out that another person has passed away. Now, when someone passes away, it's already hard. But when someone that has had an impact in your life, whether in person or they were your inspiration or they're your hero, maybe they were your favorite author, maybe they were
someone you watched,
a parent, somebody you watched on TV, a parent you never met, a YouTuber, someone that saved your life. Honestly, I haven't felt like this since my grandfather passed away during the whole anime Matsuri thing, and I've only felt this kind of pain a few times when it comes to death. It's, Jason David Frank is definitely the second person who was not related to me where I've felt this pain. When I was, I think, in 2005, I felt exactly the same way as I do now when Eddie Guerrero passed away. I woke up Sunday and heard that he had died of heart failure. And it just feels the same way with Jason David Frank. It's surreal to wake up and to hear that that he's gone. But that's why we're here today, guys. We're here to talk about JDF. JDF wasn't just a Power Ranger. JDF was a part of the Texas cosplay nerd and geek community.
True. That.
JDF was the heart and soul of Power Rangers. Whether you liked him, whether you hated him, whether you thought he was overrated, whether you thought he was the GOAT, whether you thought he was full of himself, or whether you thought he was as humble as ever. JDF did a lot of good and he made a lot of mistakes. But it's like he said in the video, we're all human. He's a person. He's a human being. And I've had the honor and privilege of meeting and hanging out with JDF. And it's someone like JDF who you would never expect to have mental health problems. But a lot of us have them. I have them. Have I been down the same road JDF has? Yes. 3 times. Did I go through with it? No. That's why it hit me the most. Because JDF was the class clown. He was the prankster. I am the class clown. I am the prankster. I'm the one that's constantly entertaining people, making them laugh. People call me stupid all the time, but they don't realize that I do it on purpose. Because I like making people laugh. I like to make them smile. And that's what JDF did. JDF made everyone feel good. He was the hype. I will never in my life call another guest, panelist, or photographer or whoever the hype. But Jason David Frank was the hype. Jason David Frank projected an energy like no one else could. Especially when he showed up at Kamikaze Con and Johnny Young Bosch was recovering from a hangover. And JDF showed up kicking and screaming. I imagined this part, but I swear he was doing backflips, but I now realize I imagined that part. But he did, and he was all like, "It's morphin' time." Everybody's like crowding him. He's not even a guest at the con. But he crashed the panel, and all I hear is Johnny Young Bosch on stage going, "Fuck." But JDF was a part of our childhoods. He's the original 6th Ranger. Even in the Sentai series, there was the Green Ranger and Mighty Morphin was the original. Tommy's gonna lead. He was Tommy. He was also Tommy Lord Draken. He's gonna, and it's like he said in the video. You know, there's that saying, and he said it. It's not about living forever. It's about leaving a legacy that will. Whether that legacy is whatever your projects, your music, your work, your book that you're writing, a group that hosts panels and events like Geeks 5 Ever, or your children. That is a legacy that will outlive you if you put the work into it. If anybody wants to speak now, go ahead. I just need a minute.
One of my more favorite funny stories is somebody posted on eBay that they had the original Dragon Flute like for sale on eBay, and then he comes out like, guys, that's not the original Dragon Flute. There was only one on set, and it's right here. I know it's the original one because I stole it.
Yeah, even on set, I always hear that stories of during like filming of the movie, he would just play pranks during the set.
I think it's funny that he was telling us about that. He's like, when we were filming the movie, for some reason, someone thought it would be a good idea to give us color-coded beds. Everyone got their bed to the color according to the ranger they were. So apparently, he bare ass farted on homeboy Rocky's pillow, and then he took the White Ranger suit, cut a hole into the ass part, and hovered over him as he was sleeping. So when he woke up, he got a face full of ass. And apparently, that ended up costing the studio some money.
We only had one suit.
I know,
Yeah.
right? Why is there? Okay, Jason, please explain to me why you turned our spandex suit that cost us $7,000 into assless chaps
For a laugh.
for a prank.
Because it was funny.
Yeah, when we hung out with him, he shared a lot of stories, like the Christmas special. When they did the Christmas Power Ranger episode where him and Kimberly are under the mistletoe, he said he dropped his pants during that scene where she was like, where she says Tommy, and then he's like, oh yeah, right, and then he just drops his pants in the. He's just like signaling like it ain't gonna suck itself. That's pretty much what he said. But, oh, and then he's like, oh, that's right. There's a kid show. My bad.
That'll be in the behind the scenes version.
That's right. But this is something that we weren't prepared to do.
No.
Honestly, a lot of us are kind of speechless because this just happened.
Right.
We were not prepared for this.
You're good.
It's rough because death isn't easy. I don't have a script, guys. I don't have a speech ready. I don't have anything. I barely had time to fix the video. I had to go to work this morning.
It's just part of it. Just gotta roll with it.
Me and John were at. I think. Does anyone know what his last Comic-Con was? Because I believe Big Texas Comic-Con was his last convention.
I would think so, but if there was another one, I'm not sure. But I think Big Texas was the last one that he was like the major guest, celebrity guest.
And like you met him, like we both met him. Like, did he seem off or anything to you, or were there any signs?
No. Well, there was one thing. So like when I was in line, so I've never met JDF until Big Texas Comic Con this year. So I've known people that, like met him a couple of times, like, oh, he's cool and stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Like just from like the stereotypes, okay, whatever. But I was like, okay, like I have to meet him because like he's real cool, but I like how he's living in Texas. So I was like, if it's a celebrity who's really cool, has good intentions, I got to get a picture with them. That's just how I am, just I love my roots. But so I'm glad I did. And so when I was waiting in line to get a picture with him, so someone else went before me, but when it was going to be my turn, because I was in my Mighty Morphin Blue Ranger suit, I had like the photo op picture ready to sign, and then like 2 button pins I had ready to sign as well. He was like, yeah, you can come on and do it real quick. He was like, I'm gonna use the restroom, but after you, then like I'll go use the restroom. And I was like, okay. Because I was like, well, you can go if you need to go. Like it's like I can wait, because we're still waiting, but it's not a problem, like if you gotta go, then go. But no, he did it for me though, like to take the picture, and I was there. And I think after that he went to the restroom. But that was like the only instance where it was like kind of off-putting, I guess. So but like just what I've heard from other people too is that like he does a lot and goes out of his way for his fans. And like when I was there also, he said it out loud. It was like, I'm gonna like be here until the very last fan is in line. So it's one thing to hear it, and then one thing to witness it was like, wow, like that's shocking. Like that's the kind of person that we all want to not just become, but we want to embrace and actually like interact with. Like he's humble, he's cool, he's funny, and just out there. But
it shows him like he has a great character, because not often at conventions you don't see like when a guest, most of them would just stay until like a certain time. There's some that's like, no, I'm gonna stay here until every single person in this line gets like an autograph, a photo, or a photo op or something like that. And that's and that's really cool. Sometimes most conventions are against that, but some are like,
Right.
fine. I was like, nah, these people waited in line for me. I'm going to stay for them, and that's it shows how big of a heart people like other guests. But JDF, man, he would always be very enthusiastic. He has like a lot of like positive vibes whenever he's at like at a convention. Like even not just him, but like the tables next to him, like other guests beside him. You could feel the energy.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And just for me, just to kind of guess like more into it. So I took a picture with him the last day of Big Texas Con, which was the 30th of October. So it was just like almost a month ago. So a couple of weeks ago. But it was just crazy to me like that was his last appearance, and I was fortunate and blessed to like actually get a pic with him. Like I did a photo op with him and actually paid extra to like stand in line and do the combo, but he was nice enough just to let me just pay for the signatures and stuff. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
But just going more with it too, it's just like we have to do better with like mental health, and especially for us guys, because that's a lot of the statistics is like men tend to, do like suicide or whatever it is, but just the big umbrella for suicide. And so it comes in different ways. Like it's not clear and easy like black and white, it's a lot of like gray areas, but it's just certain things that we got to do better. Like we got to just be more supportive for each other and be stronger together.
Yeah, like like my first time meeting him, like I had this epic speech planned out that I was gonna tell him, because it's like I'm meeting him for the first time. What do I tell him? And he kept interrupting me to sign stuff. Like I'm telling him, like, ever since I was a kid, hey bro, you want me to autograph your stuff? So I'm like, I don't have any right now, bro. What's going? Oh, thank you. And then I continue on. Then he's like, hey bro, your shield is really cool. This deserves a gold autograph. I'm like, oh, thank you. And then finally I finished my speech. Me and my friend had his guitar with Dragon Ball drawn on it. We sang the Power Ranger theme for him, and then he gave me a free autographed White Ranger print. And I'm just like, he was it felt like I was defying the possible. And ever since then, I was telling people, if you're a fan of Power Rangers, meeting JDF is one of those things you have to do before you die. And going back to like what you said about how he did to the last man standing, that night I saw him live until like 1 o'clock in the morning signing autographs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's really cool about that too. It's just like, and like someone in the comments said, especially when cons weren't happening during COVID and all that stuff. So it says here in the he was traveling to comic book stores to greet fans, do autographs and all that.
It was part of his charity called Power Ranger Protecting Program. Basically, he would like go to different comic book stores and like do autograph signings like all over the country. And then at the end, he donates stuff to the comic book store, like donate some of the proceeds to help keep the comic book store open.
Yeah. In Houston, one of the stops was at Dragon's Lair over in 290, and that was like one of the the few times he would always be in Houston, because he would be in other parts of the U.S. or like other parts of the country and all that. And he was just he's always very like the life of a party. And like for me personally, like I met him at Space City Comic-Con. He was there in 2016, and he was one of the nicest people I ever met. He has such like, he would just stay there, and like if you talk to him for a while, he will focus. He would listen to you, and it's like that's so cool, because most of the times, like I said, sometimes some of the guests would, they'd be like, "Hey man, we gotta hurry," but he was just like, "Hey man, I'll listen to you all day if I have to." You know what I mean? And that's what's so cool about it. He's very humble, like everyone said, and it's so surreal. Luckily, I had a photo with him. I had an autograph, and I still keep that autograph framed in my room to this day. Ever since then, because it was just he had a lot of energy and all that. It's just like, for me, if my 90s younger self would have met him, I would have been like fainting or something like that,
Yeah, dude. Like I was hyperventilating. I was like y'all know how comp I am. It's just like I've never felt like that feeling before, and I was struggling to get words out. I was like crying, trying not to cry. And, like if you watch the playback footage, it's like, who is this? Because this is not me at all. Like, he just had that presence to him. And, it sucks what happened.
Yeah, because I don't know like when y'all found out, but for me, I found out like that night on Saturday. So a cosplay friend of mine, because I was like watching a friend perform like in an opera musical. And it was like a little bit later after that, then my friend messaged me on Instagram and she was like, hey, JDF like passed away. And I was like, what? And so, of course, like if it happens in a moment, you have to wait till the next day to get it confirmed and all that. But she was like, yeah, like certain Ranger actors, are posting on their story with like broken hearts and stuff. And I was like, what? And then just certain people that he would be around with every day, they were just, posting first because that was the people he was with all the time, like every day or on the daily. And then of
Yeah.
course, like the next day, then like it worked itself out, but then that's when the sources came in and stuff like that. But for me, I just couldn't go to sleep. Like, yes, everyone grieves it differently, yes, like we are emotional, so I'm not like tear jerking right now, but like I'm so sad, I'm so heavy hearted and I feel it, like I'm more empathetic person, so I feel like the energy is like really sad, just for him. But I was just like, dang, okay, like it's just the way the vibes are going for me too. I was like, man, like this is not gonna be a good day. Like we're just gonna wait till everybody posts and stuff like that. And as soon as TMZ made the official statement, I was like, okay, then it's done. Like then people can have the confidence now to actually know what's really happening. Because before that, yeah, people were saying it was a joke, it's a hoax, it's this and that. And I'm like, just wait till later. Like, don't try to be emotional responsive. Like, just wait till it plays out and then give it like, I don't know, a couple of hours. So it was like after 12, like maybe like 1 o'clock. Then that's when they started like the sources started popping in and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I remember we were in a group chat with Lou, and Lou was thinking it was real, and like I'm thinking it's a hoax, but like at around what was it 9, 10 o'clock in the morning the next day when TMC dropped it, that's when it's like, okay, no, this is real.
So when I first heard the news was around that time, 1, 2, 3. I don't remember exactly what time because I was playing Pokemon. I was feeling down. I don't know why. I just felt really depressed Saturday and went on Facebook and looked, and I saw it, and people were arguing left and right, just like.
Yeah.
And the first thing I did was I Googled it. There was nothing.
Yeah.
And I think what really, I don't know how I felt. I kind of felt angry, felt sad.
Yeah.
But I was kind of pissed that it took JDF's passing for everyone to come together in the Power Ranger group. And I was just so upset and I was pissed. But I understood it later on that day.
Yeah.
Because no matter what you thought of the guy, he was an icon. He was celebrated.
Yep, that too. So someone in the chat was mentioning about the movie project. So yeah, with the Legend of the White Dragon, like he was doing a lot. Like besides running his dojo like nearby Houston and just being a guest like at cons everywhere, then he was trying to do the movie project. Like that's a lot to manage. And then like I don't know if he kept up with his stuff, but like I don't know what the story was, but it was either him or his ex-wife were like filing a divorce, so that was like another factor too.
So
of what
I do
could
have
happen.
some information. It was a combination of multiple things. Some people say the divorce did take a toll on his mental health. The passing of his son.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
His brother.
He had a son?
He has 4 kids with his wife.
Oh,
wow, to my knowledge, he only had one.
No, he has. I knew he had multiple kids. I used to know how many.
It's just that she's the only one that travels with him. Because she's in the movie, isn't she?
Yeah, his daughter Jenna is in the movie.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
she's the youngest. She's in a lot of stuff. The others, I never met.
I think there was one more family member of his that passed away.
Hmm.
His
I'm
mother.
Wasn't it?
not sure.
She
I don't
died
want
of
to
cancer.
say.
Hmm.
Who?
It was his mother. I believe she died of
Yes,
cancer.
that's who it. Yes, his mom. His mom as
Okay.
well. Yes, yes. I knew. Okay, so I had an idea that it was his mom because I was looking at it, but I lost it because I was looking for like I said, I don't have a script, I don't have a speech, I don't have anything. So I was looking for something to say to kind of help. But I did find that yes, his son, his brother, his mother, their passings, the divorce. It's a lot
It is,
to bury a
especially
parent
what he
and
was
a
going
child.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I know all of us were at different points, just from the weekend, but for me it was just kind of like a mourning, like sorrowful weekend for me, because like a family friend of mine, her son had died like 2 weeks ago. So then this past week, like when I was just going to the viewing and the burial, then that's when, on the next day or the next night, Saturday, with JDF and stuff, I was like, dang, this is like just double troll for me. Like this, like it was family first and then an icon, and I was like, this is a lot.
So I want to hear from the other hosts, the other people in the podcast today about their stories and memories of JDF. We can start off with Jace, Sonic, or SJ. One of y'all three would like to speak.
Well,
I know it's kind of rough right
I
now.
I never met JDF at like conventions because I'm not a huge guest fan. I did love Power Rangers to the point where I wore a blue Power Ranger onesie to school when I was in like second grade.
Oh,
Uh,
Nice.
uh, I was a big fan of JDF after the Power Rangers, mostly because of his MMA career. He was actually
Hmm.
really good at it.
Oh yeah.
Something you often don't see. Like he was a black belt. He could also be very functional in a fight, which you don't normally see from martial artists.
He actually knew how to fight, which is something
Yeah,
you don't see at a lot of cons.
I
And his
always liked
first.
to see him in a media that wasn't just him doing Power Ranger stuff was fun, and he would always do fan projects if he got the opportunity for him. Like he was in a lot of the Bat in the Sun YouTube channel. They would do
Yeah.
Super power
uh,
beatdown and all that.
yes, the Green Ranger, White
Hey,
Ranger versus
can I
such and
stop you there
such.
for a second, real quick? I just got a message.
Yeah,
So people were wondering about the Bat in the Sun movie, the Legend of the White Dragon.
Mhm.
So before the timing of his death, they did finish filming.
Oh, that's good.
So this will be his last project.
Yeah, it was supposed to be released in March.
They're
Oh.
it's definitely still coming out next year. It's post
Hmm.
production. They did finish filming, and so I think they're gonna add a little something extra, just like they did with Chadwick Boseman. But other than that, they did
Hmm.
finish the project.
Mhm.
So I messaged them, and that's why I wanted to get it out of the
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
but like it was always good to see him still kind of
Mhm.
active because you don't really see the other Power Rangers as active after they got out of Power Rangers. He held on to that role and made sure that he kept the fandom alive and going with reoccurring appearances for things.
Mhm. JDF was definitely different. I've hung out with Johnny. I've hung out with Walter. I've only briefly hung out with David. Walter and Johnny, you wouldn't think that Power Rangers would drink because the Power Rangers, you always saw them as straight edge, like as these role model citizens, until you get a few shots of tequila in them.
The
Jason, though, I have
Johnny's in
to,
a
yeah, Johnny, I'm a Power Ranger. Yeah, Johnny,
he's in a
no,
band. You know he parties.
he slept on the couch. Walter, I actually drank with him at Allcon. They had a party on Thursday night, and he was there. He was there. I think he was single at the time because he was hitting on somebody.
That doesn't mean
Mm.
anything.
We did shots, man. We had a deep conversation. I remember 2% of it.
2%.
It was great. I mean, I've hung out with Johnny. I mean, not Johnny. I'm sorry, Jason. Jason told us all these great stories about being on set and being the prankster, and like he was there. He was just there for shits and giggles, and he told us, and he's expressed it, and he's shown it that he's never given a shit about the money. It's never been about the money. He has a steady income constantly flowing with the dojos. But it's I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I really don't know what the fuck to say. This is something that you're not really prepared for.
Yeah.
This is something that it settles and you start accepting it little by little and it finally hits you. It doesn't some people doesn't hit right away, some people did hit right away. Some of us it hit us right when we saw the opening video, which a lot of people that are joining us now kind of missed. And we're not gonna play that again, unfortunately, because it would defeat the meaning.
Right.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like the saying,
Yeah.
lightning doesn't strike twice. And
Gotcha.
today's episode is honestly, I didn't even know if we were going to do this. If I'm going to be honest with everybody, like this was so last minute. I messaged, I reached out to everybody yesterday, except Deacon Rap. He harassed me today.
I didn't harass you.
You called me at work.
I didn't know you were at work.
Well, I reached
No,
out to.
he
the-
didn't know you were
the page.
employed.
No, I knew he was employed. I just didn't know he was at work. Time is weird for me. Like, you know, today it's Monday, but for me it feels like Sunday. Yesterday felt like Thursday. Time is weird with me.
Yeah, so I did reach out to the Instagram on DM. I was like, "Hey, I know y'all still do like Monday podcasts, but y'all doing one on Monday?" Or so that's how I
Yeah,
reached
you
out.
did reach out to me. You did. You reached out to me as I was reaching out to everybody.
Hey,
And I was
that's
telling
how
everyone
fate
that he's got to
works.
have a sixth sense because he knew. He knew. He like you text me as soon as I started texting everybody. So I'm like,
I
he
don't
knew.
know.
He
I
knew.
guess I do. I don't know. I don't know. My intuition is strong. I guess I don't know.
Yeah. And it's like, speaking of the movie, he had such a passion for it. Like, the last time I saw him during his panel, he played a trailer for it. And now how he talked about passion, he talked about it so passionately. And then, like, the fourth and fifth time I met him, that's when he started giving out free autographed White Dragon trading cards to everybody. And then the third time I met him, he was I believe the movie had just come out, and like he was just talking about, hey guys, I'm making a movie. It's gonna be a Power Ranger. It's not gonna be like Power Ranger, but be more for itself. And it's like, throughout all the social media, he found that such such a passion for the movie, and it makes me really wonder, like, why. It
Nice.
what's that?
Somebody mentioned
Oh,
that in the comments.
Yeah, that was that's the ornament that they have in stores like Walmart. They actually have a couple of those.
So this is what I'm gonna do, guys. As much as I love JDF, my Lord Draken figure is autographed by JDF.
Nice.
mhm.
I'm gonna give that away.
Well,
I'm gonna
oh,
do a raffle. I'm not gonna charge anyone for it. I'm gonna buy a replacement first because I have to have one for my wall.
Right. That's obvious.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna give this one away. I don't know how. I don't know when. All I know is Deacon can't have it.
that's understandable. That's understandable, man. I already have enough of your Power Ranger stuff.
Yeah, but I have doubles and triples, so you're good. It's hard. SJ, we haven't heard from you the whole time. Would you like to share a story, or you're good for now? I know it's a little rough.
Sure. I was talking about it at work today. The first time I met him, was completely by accident. I was senior year of high school, and I was taking Chinese class because I was over taking French. I was like, I want to take Chinese. And in Kingwood, there actually used to be this, can't even explain it. This basically a miniature version of the Forbidden City. You could just walk around and they did like tours and stuff. And my dad took all of us and we went and we missed this first tour, but they had one, 15 minutes later. And so we're just kicking it in the gift shop, and I'm just fiddling through things, and I hear the workers say, like, the White Ranger's mother-in-law glared at me, and I was like, am I having a stroke? None of those words make any kind of sense together. What just happened? And I was just like, okay, going back about my business. And then it was our time to go do the tour. And I just happened to be looking across the courtyard. And son of a bitch, there he is. With his wife, his mother-in-law, and his girls. And they were young at the time. So I'm just like, holy shit. And I look and I turned to my dad and I'm just like, oh my God, dad, it's him. He's like, who? And I was like, JDF. He's like, who? The Green Power Ranger. He's like, oh, you want to go meet him? I was like, no. He's like, no, let's go. And I'm like, oh my fucking God, no. And we walked across the courtyard and literally just stood right behind him, waited for his part of the tour to be finished. And my dad was like, yeah, like, act like you've been a part of the group. What if he asked you a question? The more I think about this, my dad's kind of an idiot. It's like, nobody's going to like quiz you on what you're doing. So I don't know what you're thinking, sir. But
if you're such a big fan, what episode did blah 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 happen? Oh shit!
Oh no.
Right?
About the thing, not about the show. About the thing.
Okay.
That's what he was trying to.
Imagine if he
equally
did that,
strange.
though.
He asks you what your favorite Ming Dynasty era is, or something.
Yeah.
We'll have one.
So we waited for the thing, and I just went up right behind him. I think I like tapped him on the elbow, and I was like, "I am so sorry to interrupt you, Mr. Frank. I am a huge Power Ranger fan, and I just could not like breathe. I couldn't even function." And he was so sweet, but his goddamn mother-in-law did glare at me a lot. She hated my guts for being there. I don't know what the heck was her problem, but I know somewhere, and I think it's still at my mom's house, I've got like his autograph on a couple of different items. I think one of the girls even signed something like previously, and somehow I ended up with that. And I remember he made a big deal about that. Like, oh, look, she's got your autograph too. So if I can find it, I'm going to like frame it or
I just realized that his name is Mr. Frank.
Yeah.
I never thought.
Yes,
I always hear
first.
JDF or Jason David Frank. Like, I've never heard Mr. Frank before.
I'm gonna be honest.
If it
That's
helps,
it's the first thing that it was the first thing that popped into my head. No, nothing else to say. And then we just let him go about, and I just did my thing. It wasn't until, oh my gosh, 5 or 6 years later, I was working like my first massage job, and I was thinking, I want to take martial arts again. I wonder what JDF's doing. And I found out that basically down the street from him, he's got a school open. I was like, and that's mentioned it down there in the comments. That was the Pearland School, and I drive by it all the time still. And I was there for 3 years, and I got pretty close to almost completing my stuff. But part of the reason why I didn't finish and get my black belt is Honestly, I'm scared to get it. The way that everyone told me the black belt testing went, because he's so serious about his martial arts. For adults, that shit's 12 hours from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m.
You have to defeat him in a fight.
You
Right?
gotta go through like all your drills, all your weapons katas, know like everything. And then you gotta spar all the instructors.
Ah.
You have to defeat him in a
Possibly
fight.
including him. And you have to like come up with like a written speech and some other bullshit like that. And it was just like, and towards the last like hour or something, he starts like, supposedly he like teases you with like snacks and stuff. And I was just like, that's just insanity right there. I can't even imagine that.
I mean, it's nothing when you're sparring and nothing a little pocket sand can't solve. And for the speech, just hit the podium, just slam your fist and be like, "I am the hype."
Yep.
There you go, speech, and then weapons,
Yeah.
master of Glock fu.
Yep.
As far as speech, one thing I tell people with public speaking is like, if you get nervous, just
I've
do
still,
this.
they're,
Oh, yeah.
I've
Huh?
still got mine. They're again back at my mom's place. But the first things you learn how to work with are the bow, the nunchuck, and the size. So I was like, fuck yeah, I get to be a ranger and a ninja turtle all at the same time. My dreams are coming true.
Yes.
You don't get to learn the blade until later. And it's so dumb. I really do need to fix it. So I picked a pair of like the heaviest size, like the biggest size. And we have y'all can see some of the pictures on my Facebook page. When you get a belt, you get like to so many classes, you get like they take different color tape and they wrap it around your belt. So that once you get 3 strips of color on it, you can test and go up a rank. So when I was technically interning for school, one day I took one of the electrical tapes, the red tape, and I just wrapped it around my size. And I remember like the kids watching and was like, "What's Miss Rachel doing? What's Miss Rachel doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm decorating it because I can." I was basing it off of like the 2003 Ninja Turtles, where they all had their colored weapons. I was like, "Damn, I need some. We don't have any orange tape. I don't have any purple tape. I need stuff for my bow and my nunchucks." But I need to find some actual like leather because they don't grip too well with that tape. But they're pretty. You always knew which one was mine.
Real quick, I want to address a comment, and one of the co-hosts for the Shit Talk podcast, Ken, said that I had a lot of experience with many Rangers over the years. JDF always had the most energy and seemed to be the most excited to be around the fans. I know it's I mean, what do you say in this kind of situation? It's surreal to believe that Jason isn't here anymore. But the thing is, he will always be remembered. He's a part of Ranger history. And there are people out there. Let's not pretend they don't exist. There are people out there right now that are just bad mouthing the entire situation. There are. Some people are calling it a publicity stunt to gain more ticket sales for the movie. It's true.
No.
I'm not even making this up. I saw the comments on Facebook. It's pissing me off.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I'm bringing this up, though.
Yeah.
Mental health. is years ago, people assumed that therapists were just for crazies. I was watching that 70s show, and that's how they portrayed therapy. Oh, that's for crazy people. And I know that's meant to be a comedy, a sitcom, but it goes to show you how things were back then.
Yeah.
And even now, like growing up as a person of color, that's how it's treated. It's treated as attention seeking. You know, a lot of people don't realize that mental health is a disease. It's a chemical imbalance in our brain. The scars on my arm are a constant reminder to me that I have problems. But I made a promise that I would never do it again. And it's hard because I don't always get the support that I need. Because I do have friends that would make a joke out of it. There are people out there, family, friends, whatever you call them, that will brush it to the side and just say that you're just being extra.
Basically deniers, basically.
Mm-hmm.
We're all human beings, whether you're celebrities, whether you're athletes, whether you're podcasters, YouTubers, professional wrestlers, cosplayers. See, you're in a rock band, you're a rapper, you're a doctor, you work customer service. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're at the end of the day, we're all people.
Exactly.
That's true. Yep.
We eventually will all pass on to the next life.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we will have to go the rest of our lives without one of the individuals who inspired us, who helped shape who we are. But he's not gone. Even if you don't believe there's an afterlife, his memory lives with all of us. He
Yep.
left a legacy that's always going to live. And Power Rangers is just as popular now as it ever was. The world is shifting. The world is changing.
Yep. Changing every day.
Exactly. And mental health is becoming, it's getting more spotlight. It's people are getting treated, people are getting checked, but sometimes it's just not enough. Sometimes it's too little, too late. And we have to check on everyone we know that have mental health. And no one here saw this coming. Let's not pretend.
No.
No
No.
one here, unless you actually knew JDF. I didn't know I didn't know he was capable of doing this. People didn't know that I was capable of doing what I did until I announced it on Facebook. You don't know. And people call us selfish. You know, if we tried to do, you were being selfish, you're going to take your own life and leave everybody behind. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We think about everyone. We think about what would everyone think of.
Hmm.
But everyone. But that's why when we were talking yesterday, like, I don't know if I want to do the podcast. We've taken so much time off this year that I decided we got to do this. Yes, JDF has passed. But it's like when Eddie Guerrero passed.
Or it's not just like, well, also not just basically, it's just for anybody out there who had like their favorite, you know, who someone they looked up to passed away. You know, not just celebrities, also like, you know, your teacher,
Friends,
your
family
friends,
members.
you know,
Yeah.
friends, exactly. You know, it takes a toll on people, you know, and how I just want to go back to what Goku was bringing up. Oh, people say it's selfish and cowardly. I want to tell a story about this because this happened yesterday. So someone told me about this. Is a family member, by the way. Was that she was going through Facebook? She's like, "Oh, is it true one of the Power Rangers passed away?" I'm like, "Yeah, he did." It's like, "Oh, how?" It's like by suicide, and immediately changes the mood from like sad to like anger. Like, "Oh, it's really stupid the way he did that," and I'm like, "You don't get it, do you? You don't get it." And she was like, "Why?" It's like, it's just it was dealing that person could, because like this whole thing about depression. People, it's hard to explain to people like that because like I told that person's like, he was dealing with depression. He was dealing with a lot. And he's like, well, it's still a stupid thing to say. And I just like, I just had to walk away because I was that close to like physically like punching that person in the face.
Not a punch.
And there's a family member, by the way. And unfortunately, the culture that I'm part of, it's always like mental health is like talking about mental health is like a sign of weakness. And that's a brutal, honest
Just get
reality of
over
it.
it.
Yeah, just get over it. Oh, you're just saying this because you're selfish. Oh, why don't you go work out? Why don't you go do this? I'm like,
Yes.
I could lift a shit ton of weights and I could still be unhappy.
Right.
That's the scary part about it too, because now, and unfortunately, it has to come to this circumstance that we have to talk about mental health. But no, this is something that I'm glad nowadays people are like standing up, saying, you know what? I don't care what people say. I have to save myself, and I have to save my mental, my mental health. I don't give a f what people think about it. You know what? I'd rather be, I'd rather deal with the haters than being 6 feet underground. And that's something that and like someone in the comments said, it can happen to anyone you would least expect, not just, obviously with JDF, he had so much energy and so much life, for that to happen, it's a shock. Another comparison I can make is when Robin Williams, when he passed away, that shocked everybody too. And I don't know, that's pretty much what I could say about that,
Mental health
Chester
is
from
go,
Lincoln.
but mental health. Just sorry, to interrupt, but mental health is not just depression and anxiety. Let's also add to that as well.
Right.
It's not just people having depression, people dealing with anxiety, people dealing with suicidal thoughts. Remember, mental health could be like being bipolar, just have anything wrong with the chemical imbalance of your brain. Look at, I don't know if there's a lot of wrestling fans here, but look at Chris Benoit. Chris
Yeah.
Benoit is a good example of mental health
Oh
and taking
Lord.
care of yourself.
Yeah, the dude unfortunately had the brain of like an 80-year-old, and he was like 40.
Yeah.
The man had more than 13 concussions, and you can already start going brain dead for one. Look at all the celebrities
And
that
then
have.
another example is
Right. Look
like
at Chester from
Chester
Linkin
from
Park.
Mark, like 2
That
hours
one
before
hit
it
me
happened.
really hard. I don't want to talk too much about other celebrities because I want to focus on Jason, but Chester from Linkin Park is definitely one that hit me hard. Because I love Linkin Park. I had Hybrid Theory and
Meteora.
was it Hybrid Theory, Meteora, the one with Numb in it?
Yeah, Meteora.
Yeah.
Meteora, okay. So those were the two CDs I had. I didn't have them legit though. I bootlegged them.
It's all right.
Go to jail.
Yeah, because in high school, people were trading CDs like Pokemon cards because everyone had a
Yeah.
CD burner. I even had their Jay-Z Linkin Park Connection album. That was great.
No Marcor, yeah.
That's cool.
I never got to see Linkin. I've never gotten to see Linkin Park live. Never.
Me neither.
And the sad part too, regards to Linkin Park, before Chester passed away, they were gonna make a stop in Houston a month later.
I remember that.
And I was like, I actually was looking forward to it, and then they had to cancel as soon as he passed away. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
it's like, shit, dude.
And it sucks because you never know. Like, I want
You never know.
everyone to listen that's watching this. I want you guys to realize that you never know when is the last time you're going to see someone, when you're going to speak to them, when you can hug them, tell them you love them, tell them how much they mean to you.
Even
Because-
as sorry, I just wanted to add, even as something as saying hi or hey, what's up, man? Everything. Hope you're doing all right.
Or just saying,
Yeah.
I'm
How are
sorry.
you holding up?
Yeah, how are you doing? How are you holding up? Look at, and I just want to bring this up because I wanted to have a moment of silence today. But look at what happened recently with Colorado.
Yeah, that too.
You never know. Look at the shooting here in Texas. Those parents hugged their
Uvalde.
kids for the last time that day.
Right.
So I want you guys to appreciate the people around you. And my friend too, my friend here, Flaming Forums, he has lost a lot too. And he has my thoughts and prayers as well. I've talked to him, I've shared it with him. You never know when's the last time you're gonna speak to someone, especially like look at Jason. He was healthy. He looked happy. He had money. He wasn't like filthy rich, but he wasn't like, you know, he was
He was
definitely
comfortable.
oil changed on time, rich.
Right. Right.
Let me turn off the AC so the gas can last a little longer, rich.
It reminds me, I need an oil change.
Yeah. I put a sticker over the check engine light.
That'll work.
Yeah, it solved my problem. I can't see it anymore. The thing is, guys, just appreciate those you have with you. You never know.
Yep.
You never
Yeah.
know. Death, unfortunately, does come for everybody. And it's like that meme, it's that saying, life will give a gift to death,
Right.
and that gift will take a lifetime to get to death. Jason gave us a gift that we should always cherish, guys. Sometimes, some of us, all we want to do is make everyone happy and smile. Sometimes that's worth it. That's a life well lived. Was Jason JDF very young? Yes, he was only 49. But maybe somewhere, maybe he thought that he lived a full life because the man, you could honestly say he's a cult of personality, like the song.
Right.
He has his fans, he has his followers, he has his haters, he has people that loathe him, he has people that stalk him, he has people that love him, he has people that, that have at least heard of him.
Right.
And, you also have people that just flat out don't give a shit. But JDF is always going to be here with us, guys. He will always live in our memories and the memories of our children. Because JDF is the original Sixth Power Ranger. He is the poster child of Power Rangers. He's the guy that stole Austin St. John's job as the leader. And Austin St. John did post a
And
video
stole a
about
girl.
JDF. I don't know about that. That's debatable.
Well, yeah.
But Austin St. John did also as well post a video. Amy posted one. I didn't want to share that one. I definitely did not want to share the Amy one because that one's very emotional.
That one was emotional.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
like when he was explaining why he was in the 30th anniversary, he said, "Without Kimberly, there is no Tommy." Cat was just a rebound, but that's another discussion.
Mm.
Well, going back to the Austin St. John thing, I think it's very admirable for Austin St. John to come out and say, "Look, we were never it's no secret we were never drinking buddies." But it's surreal to believe that he's gone. And he did say something heartwarming. And then he said, once a ranger, always a ranger. Then he called him his brother.
Absolutely.
It's, I don't know, man. This is, like I said, I don't know what to say. I'm getting a little choked up.
No, it's understandable, you know.
It's all right.
I think it just started hitting me now as we're watching all this, as we're prepping. This is not easy, guys. It's not easy. Yesterday I woke up at 12, saw the confirmation. I already knew, deep down inside, I knew there was no way. I didn't want to believe it.
Right.
But it's like, there's no way they would just spread a rumor of this magnitude. This isn't like the fluffy rumor where they kept saying he died and he just came out on Twitter like 5 minutes later to confirm he was alive. I knew something was wrong when hours went by and they were speculating about his death and no one had said a thing. Then I woke up.
I was hoping.
One day. Go ahead.
I was hoping he was just away from his phone at the time.
I don't think JDF's away from his phone kind of guy because he's always answering the fans.
Oh yeah. He's like a hawk when it came to social media. But at this particular time, I was like, oh, maybe this is that one time where he just wanted to be away from his phone, and that's why nobody's posting anything, and because I didn't want to believe it.
Right, but I really don't. The reason why I don't think that's the case, it's because he has a PR agent that watches his social media like a hawk. Like it's their actual job, and it is their job because they're being paid to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they're
like a coordinator and all that.
Consider himself a celebrity, but he was definitely. If you don't want to call him celebrity, he was definitely a role model.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He was a role model for pretty much any kid out there who watched Power Rangers, whether it's like Fox or like they knew somebody who watched Power Rangers, or maybe they, someone had like a birthday party Power Rangers themed, or somebody had like the toys, or they would be outside at recess pretend to be Power Rangers, for like, hey, you'll be the Green Ranger or you'll be the White Ranger. I remember when Tommy Oliver made his debut in the show, and I was like, and the Green Ranger, the weight, the armor, the moves and all that, the way it looked. I mean, yeah, looking back, it was really cheesy, but as a kid, it was like, whoa, this is so cool. And people kind of forget that he started off as a villain when he was under control of Rita Repulsa, and then it was kind of weird because he was actually one of the first villains I actually cheered for in a way, and just the vibe and all that, and he was such a cool way. And then when he went to the White Ranger, I was like, dude, that's like the coolest thing ever. And that was me. A lot of us grew up with that. Like, yeah, the movie that was a big deal.
Tape.
VHS tapes, the toys. If you had a birthday party themed at your house or like at Discovery Zone, if anybody remember those, those, and it's just like shows how much of an impact he had, with us. You may not have been a Power Rangers fan, but you knew somebody at least who was, and just seeing how much of an impact he was. And then there's some people out there who haven't talked about Power Rangers since like the Mighty Morphin days, and they see, unfortunately before he passed away, they would see JDF like at cons and be like, oh my god, like he's here, oh my god, and it's so cool. Like it kind of reignites their nostalgia,
their inner childhood. Yeah,
exactly. But yeah, that's what I feel. For me, when he talks about his legacy, that's the legacy he has. Whether it's we meet him at cons to the kid that watched him on TV those days ago, because Power Rangers came out. Some kids didn't have cable, and that was like the only way to watch Fox Kids and all that. Maybe that was like the first thing they saw was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Maybe that was like their first fandom, and that probably left an impact. There's some there's someone I knew who grew up watching Power Rangers, and then when they had kids on their own, they would show them like, oh, this is the Power Rangers. This is the thing I grew up watching, and they'd be fascinated too. And thanks to the power of social media and the internet, it helps when something like from the 90s or 80s, it leaves a huge impact. And
I see that a lot at cons because like when I was at Big Tattoo Comic Con, the guy in front of me, his daughter would cosplay the Pink Ranger, and it's like, are you ready to meet Tommy? And little 4 or 5 years like, I want to meet Tommy, and it's like like you said, parents show their kids this cool thing, and I see that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so just some information here. It doesn't say anything about his other relatives, but it does say this. So Frank was a Christian and was said to he began attending his church after the death of his brother. He married his first wife in 1994, and the couple had 2 sons and a daughter. They divorced in 2001, and in 2003, he married his second wife, Tammy, and the couple had 1 daughter. It's probably the reason why Deacon Rap only knew about the 1 daughter. And okay, so the rest of it is I'm not gonna read the rest of it because it's kind of tragic, but
yeah, it's understandable.
So amateur mixed martial arts record. He has 4 wins, 2 by knockout, 2 by submission, and he's undefeated. Oh wow, 4 victories. That's a lot, actually. That's
how you do it.
Yeah,
beat up 4 people. It's hard.
And but it was actually kind of cool because I saw a YouTube video, a clip of one of his fights, and when the announcer goes like, "Oh, he was formerly known as Tommy Oliver from Power Rangers," like that he got a huge pop for that. I was like, "Oh wow, that's people still remember it." It's like, "Oh wow, this is the Green Ranger," and and I actually remember that. It's like shows how much it's like, wow, this is so cool what he's doing now.
Dude, in his first UFC fight, he won in the first round by putting the guy in an armbar, and then 24 seconds later, it's like, oh, he wins.
Wait, he never fought in the UFC.
No, he just fought like independent MMA.
He's only amateur MMA.
Gotcha. I thought it was just.
There's a lot of copycats out there. Legacy Fighting Championships here in Texas. They're not UFC, but they're very similar.
Gotcha.
But his amateur. So to have a professional. So technically, amateur pro. It depends on where you. There's a lot of gray area there. But because he never fought in Bellator, or at least not that I can see, or the UFC, he doesn't have a current pro record. But his MMA record, as it stands, is 4-0. Oh, okay. Mixed martial arts record. He does have 1 win. He won by submission. Where did he fight that, though? Oh, it doesn't say. It just gives me a definition of mixed martial arts. But with mental health, guys, we just got to make sure if you know somebody that's suffering from mental health, that if we're gonna share this with y'all guys, I want you guys to take this and share it with somebody, please.
Actually, I know this is a long number, but they recently actually gave a new number. It's actually an easier one. Okay, it's 9. Yeah, the number is 988. That's the new suicide prevention number. It's actually easier. You could call and you could text. Because that
988.
Yeah, 988. That's the new number. I was gonna mention that in the end, in case. But like we said, like Goku said, if you or anybody out there is in a bad place, and it's okay to talk to somebody. It's never a shame to talk to anybody. If you got to vent out somebody, there's people out there who's there to talk to you. If you feel like nobody's there to talk to you, there are people to talk to. And to prevent this number is really important. 988. That's the new one. The old number still works, but this is the more easy one. You could call, you could text. Someone's out there to help you. there's no shame in asking for help. You know, if people think it's a sign of weakness, F them. You know, if you need the help, you could ask. There's no shame in asking for help. You know,
Right.
I don't know if that's the right way to say it.
No, fuck him. Fuck anybody that says that it's all in that you're just seeking attention. You're just being a crybaby.
What Jesse said.
This is a publicity stunt. This is you being extra. You know what? If you can't accept the fact that mental health is a real problem. It's a real issue. It's killing people that we love. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck. But like if you're feeling down, if you're depressed, if something's wrong, you can call or text me, guys. I don't care if we stop talking. I don't care if like we're not friends anymore. If you are in need, you can reach out to me because I've never turned my back on anyone. There
That's
are
true.
people who hate my fucking guts that I still help. I don't let them borrow my car anymore, but I still help them. And yeah, I'm being dead ass serious. I used to let people that didn't like my guts, hey, can we use your car? I guess. But I don't turn my back on anyone because that's not just because I don't. It's like that. I don't know if it was Tupac that said this or somebody else, but I don't. It's that saying like, I want to see you eat bread, just not at my table.
That was Tupac.
Tupac, yeah.
Yeah.
Just because I cut you out of my life doesn't mean I want you to suffer and die
Right.
and be miserable. No, I still want you to eat and support your kids or your family or whoever. I just don't want you in my circle. There's a lot of things that go on backstage with our group, and some of the other panelists, including Bacon over here, have said it. Jesse, your panels, as entertaining as they are, you're the personified version of chaos.
I never said
But
that.
you did. But you did say they were chaotic.
I didn't say they were chaotic. I said they were.
You said I was. You said I was.
I said that you were like I said you were the whole epicenter of the fun factor. That like you are geek. I know there's a whole team, but it's like you are the Geek Five ever with Tommy with the Power Rangers in a sense.
Okay, well, replace Geeks 5 Ever with panels. And yes. And that's the thing, guys. And that's the thing that I feel like me and Jason have that in common because I have mental health issues. I've dealt with that, and everyone knows it's no secret. I'm not ashamed to admit it. But I do have a problem. I don't reach out to anybody. I don't. Sometimes I just don't respond to people's text messages because I don't want to talk to anybody. But Geeks 5 Ever, it might seem, it's kind of like a pile of laundry. I know which one is my clean clothes. I know which one is my dirty clothes. And that's how JDF kind of was sometimes. JDF was definitely much more organized than me, but JDF was like the entertainer. He wanted to. It's kind of like a pile of laundry. Yes. Who said that?
So his headphones got disconnected.
Was that my voice?
Yes, that was your voice.
Okay,
That's what you sound like, by the way.
I remember when you hear it, you sound different.
Yeah, I know what I sound like. I sound like a moron.
Yeah. Was that anyways,
What?
I thought I was
that's
British.
The thing that JDF, people don't realize this, but JDF, Eddie Guerrero, a lot of people, like there are a few people, George Lopez, they have inspired everything that I do, and it's some people might not like look at it fondly or like understand what I'm trying to accomplish, but at the end of the day, there is so much going on. There was so much happening with JDF's life. There was so much going on. The cons, the comic book shops, the movie, everything going on that people heard about, and then things that you didn't hear about. And it's the same thing here. It's the same thing, you know. Like honestly, guys, and I'm gonna confess this to you guys. I don't hate anime matsuri as we say we do. That's just the running joke that we started running with because it's, you know, just for laughs. Honestly, there are people that will constantly message me about them, and I don't care, you know, guys, and that's just part of it, though. I do this to entertain you. I do this to make y'all laugh. I do this to make y'all smile, to make y'all want to come to the con and have fun. I want you guys to be happy, and that is why I do the things we do, and that's why I can relate to JDF in the sense that he was almost the same way. He was the class clown. He did the pranks. He made the jokes. He made everyone think that he was the goofball. Like he literally destroyed a $7,000 costume for shits and giggles,
Worth it.
and he admitted it. Like he stole shit from the set. By the way,
Yeah.
sometimes what you see on the outside is not what you get. It's not what's going on the inside. Maybe you don't understand. Like I can understand where JDF's coming from. Staying until like everyone's got their autographs, staying until the very end, just killing yourself. JDF probably suffered a lot, but he kept doing it. He pushed forward because he knew it made us happy. He knew we smiled and we loved him for it. But eventually it becomes too much. And it's JDF was there will never be another JDF. There will never be another Tommy Oliver. JDF is one of those people that are it's going to leave shoes that no one can fill. It's just like with Chadwick Boseman.
Hmm.
He's going to we're going to always remember JDF and his legacy. But
Right.
we're going to be selfish and miss him and want him back. And which is fine. It's okay to be selfish. It's okay to want him back here with us. It's okay. It's okay, guys. It's okay. We're humans. Jason was human, and he made people happy. JDF was definitely not when he got invited to a con. He definitely wasn't the main event, but he was the show stealer, the show stopper.
Yes.
Yep.
I got nothing.
No, you just nailed that.
I'm
in the
literally
head.
staring at his picture while I'm giving this speech. He's just kind of there, leaning on top of a Power Ranger helmet with his big old, what is that, like hot rod, yellow and red, Jesus didn't tap tattoo. Like, you can't tell what any of his tattoos are except for that one because it's like hot rod, yellow and red.
Yeah. One of my favorite TikToks of his, one of the funny ones is that he had just bought a motorcycle, right? He's like, guys, I think I can't remember what color, so I know this is probably wrong. Guys, they didn't have a black Harley Davidson, so I brought a silver Victory motorcycle. And then he goes on to say that there's a special order and he's gonna pick it up whenever he comes back. And I'm just like, bro, you literally just bought a whole nother motorcycle just because it didn't have that color.
Can I say something real quick? Because I'm staring
Yeah.
at his picture still. Me and the picture made eye contact. I realized something. The first time I met JDF, I didn't realize he was covered in tattoos.
I know,
You
right?
didn't?
It's kind of trippy. Yeah.
I thought he was wearing a shirt.
Okay, sir. When I first met JDF, I didn't realize his first name was Jason. I also didn't realize that him and Austin St. John didn't get along in real life. So I thought it was kind of ironic that they made them best friends and they both share a name. One is Jason in the show. One is Jason in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And then he takes off his jacket. He's covered in tattoos. I think that's my brother calling me to go pick him up. But I'm like, damn, dude. Like, you look like you just got off your shift at Hot Topic, and this is gothic Hot Topic back in the day when they sold the
Yeah,
clothes
yeah.
we couldn't afford.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why
when
he's back
when the logo
That's why
looked
when
like
he's back from Dino
dripping
Thunder
blood.
and stuff, he's always in jackets and long sleeves and stuff because he's covered in tats.
Yeah, and that's at his panel, he was saying, guys, when you're talking about why he didn't want to come back for the anniversary, like, guys, I'm almost 50. I'm tired of covering up my tattoos. I'm tired of, having to be on the kids' show. I want to be taken seriously. And when he, covering up the tattoos, it's like, yeah, dude, you have a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he might have been tired of being not taken as like an adult actor, but he was always the type of person who would put forth the child-friendly persona because he knows
Yeah.
the kids who watch Power Ranger, the ones that he's being introduced to are children. That's why he was against an R-rated Power Rangers film, because that's not what kids grew up watching. It's not the fan base he has.
Right.
You know what? I completely agree with him on that. Because even in Japan, Power Rangers is for children.
Right.
Power Rangers is a show meant to sell toys.
Right.
And having an R-rated Power Ranger film sounds cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it would just alienate like 60% of the
Right.
the audience you're going to sell the merchandise to, because Power Rangers doesn't make the money off the show. They make the money selling the same 5 Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to, like, we sold you this one has 10 points of articulation, but this one has 11. Well, fuck, take my money.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Comes with
JDF
different
was against
stand.
it. And people like me will buy the shit. And so JDF knew, but it's going to sell more towards children because they sell like the Imaginext figures.
Mm-hmm.
They sell all kinds of stuff where the fans are like, oh, why do I want that? I don't want that. That's for the kids. And it sells. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like Power Rangers is at the end of the day a business.
It is.
But that would be an interesting topic to talk about for a future date. How shows that we've grown up with, and there's a lot of shows that for us specifically are literally as old as we are. Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, Transformers. And it's just interesting because I've had this conversation with quite a few different fans from all those spectrums of how, like, as we mature, we want our shows to mature as well. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think my dad could relate because he grew up watching Adam West Batman, when he was 8 years old or whatever. And then here we are in 1989. Now we have Tim Burton's Batman, and more matured with the audience. Now we have Tim Burton's Batman.
Your headphones disconnected again, or somebody's watching the show at the same time.
Gotta get those views.
Now another thing that people are gonna bring up, because I know it's out there, are okay. First off, I need to address some of these comments. Power Rangers is a children's show, so is Neon Genesis Evangelion. The Boom.
I'm guessing that's the Boomer, probably. I don't know. That's not a really good
never
statement.
Seen
No,
Neon
it's just
Genesis
it's probably like a response to people who say, it's like a comeback. I guess that's the way to say it. Probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's like like Power Rangers is a kid show. Yeah, so was Evangelion. So it's Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
they weren't supposed to be, but
well, technically, I think even Neon Genesis was actually a show for teens.
Yeah, but like if they use a different example instead of Evangelion, if they use something like Dragon Ball, for example, because over there in Japan, the censors are so much different than here in the U.S. because there's a lot of scenes that they had to change out here in the U.S. like a localization thing.
Actually,
Right.
I think they're kind of getting stricter there now.
Yeah, but like in the
Because-
80s and 90s, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was definitely different. It was definitely different here too. Different times, different eras. But
Right.
I mean, we grew up with a lot of kids walking around school just doing the crotch thing, saying "suck it" to everybody.
I remember that, or the DX motion, the bam.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I meant. The DX.
yeah.
Um, Evan's storyline was not kid friendly. Story, death, and rebirth. And yeah, see, that's exactly what I was talking about. You can't compare the two. One is meant for like 5, 6, 7 year olds. The other one's meant for
13, 15, like
13, 14, 15, whose hormones are like out of whack right now. You know, teenagers that are humping their couch and watching TV at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can't really compare the two. You really shouldn't. Like, I am against an edgy rated R Power Rangers show. I know everybody wants that, but at the same time, I want Power Rangers to be something that I can watch with my kids so they can grow up, so they can get a love for it. Because Mighty
Right.
Morphin is going to eventually not be popular. And thank you to 17, who's actually he's the second in charge of Geeks Forever. Also, added to my point that it's not a child show. You know, I want Zelda, my daughter, to enjoy Power Rangers, but she's not going to enjoy a Power Rangers show that's rated R. If you want an edgy, more adult themed Power Rangers show, then go read the fucking comic book.
yeah, like so.
Yes,
in
I was thinking about
the
that.
comments just said the Boom Comics really did make a child's show into an
Yes.
adult series.
Yep. Yep.
Power Rangers already had adult themes. It's just that Boom Comics elaborate on that. They acknowledge the fact that they're super soldiers in a suit that looks like spandex, but actually gives them superhuman strength. Like, they even acknowledge that in the movie. It actually looks like armor.
Yeah.
I did.
Closet rating for Power Rangers movie, maybe PG-13. I could see a PG Power Rangers movie. When I saw the Power Rangers 2017 joke, I think the most adult theme of the entire thing is where they joked about jacking off the cow.
Yeah.
Even
I
that
thought
was,
it
that
was
was
like the kissing scene. I
More
thought
like-
was more like,
they cut out the kissing scene between Kimberly and Jason.
oh,
It was in the
Right.
trailer, but they cut it out.
But they did
I remember
have
the trailer.
where they were sitting around the campfire, like trying to bond and everything, how they're
Yeah,
all like
yeah.
hunters and something or other, how they're all misfits. They're not the perfect teenagers that we grew
Right.
up with.
But that made
And I think
sense
that-
though,
And I think that was a better choice.
not yes.
But I think that's what I like most about that kind of Power Ranger cast, because I think that's even more relatable to kids nowadays. There's no way like kids could be like what Mighty Morphin was back in the day, how they were like honor roll students. They were
Charity work.
always doing charity work, volunteer work. They were in all these like extracurricular activities, and they still hung out at the juice bar, and they saved the world, and they were perfectly well-adjusted kids. No way in hell, man. They're
Not today. Not today's
and
society.
especially not in today's world.
Well,
like
it was the thing is, and we're about to segue into something different, but I want to add to that because, like, you're right. It doesn't. Zordon says, "Get me 5 teenagers with attitude, not 5 teenagers with straight A's."
In 2017, we got the 5 teenagers with attitude.
mhm.
But the thing is, guys, I don't want another. I would like a Power Rangers movie, but I don't want a reboot.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense, but it kind of does make sense. I would like to see a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie with new cast members, but I really am against the reboot as well because you're never going to capture the magic that was Power Rangers. Because we had never seen that before. This was new. They didn't even know if it was going to work. but it did. And the show had so many ups and downs. Like they sold it to Disney, then Disney sold it to Saban back. And then the producers of Saban were assholes to David Yost. He would never return to the show, but now he's coming back because Hasbro owns it.
Yeah.
Hasbro is a very progressive, tolerant, open-minded. Not, I hate the word woke, by the way, guys. Don't anyone say fucking woke in the comment section because I hate. It's called being open-minded and progressive.
F in the
Yeah.
chat.
Mm-hmm.
It's being acceptance. It's accepting people's lifestyles. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a fuck what you put in your mouth. Okay. Unless you're paying my bills, unless I'm paying your bills, I don't need to know about your personal life. If you leave the water running in my house, now I'm gonna be in your Kool-Aid.
Jeez.
But with Hasbro being much more open and less shitty than Saban, and it wasn't Saban himself, at least not that I think, 'cause I don't know because I haven't really looked into it. It was the producers and people that worked on the show, the directors, everything.
Mm.
Maybe I don't know. It's something that
I think it was
Right.
also maybe the time period.
that's no excuse though. All right, so I want to bring in another guest, another individual that's going to speak. He was with me when we saw Jason David Frank at Layers Comics, I believe. It was on 249 Sonic.
Yeah, it was near
and then-
Willowbrook. Yeah, like
Yes,
Tomball.
yes. Were you there? Did we
Mm.
run into each other, by the way?
No, I didn't. I was planning to go, but I had other stuff going on. But I saw you guys were there, so you guys were live streaming. So it was
Yeah.
a big line. So that's how cool it was. Like that was last year, right? Yeah.
All right. I'm going to bring him on now. Welcome. We're not doing introductions this show, so welcome, Mo.
What's up,
It's a lot of people.
everybody? Can y'all hear me fine?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
All right, I'm looking kind of DreamHack Atlanta, and yeah. Whenever I found out the news, my friends took off a little bit early to do an event morning, and I ended up staying in the room to get a little bit more extra sleep and to watch up the Ecuador versus Qatar game. I was able to watch the first half before then. And I checked out of the hotel and I was waiting in the lobby area, and I was on my phone waiting to get to the World Congress Center in Georgia World Congress Center, where I was scrolling on my phone. I found I ran into this thing where it said that Jason David Frank had passed, and like it hit me hard. I was like, man, like we just saw him. It was like 2 years ago. We went to Dragon's Lair. And we got that Goku did for him. We talked to him for a while. We talked to his daughter. Just like coming to me, since the last time we met him, since like the Power Rangers, all this stuff event that I had to play like in an hour or so. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna shift this all to like the back of my. I'm not gonna worry about this right now. I'll have time to grieve like later on. And I had that 1 p.m. So I kind of just like try to forget about that. Played the event at the airport this morning, and that's when it started hitting me again. I was like, man, like I'm gonna start like crying. I'm gonna start being depressed in the airport or something. So push it back now that I saw that y'all were doing this is pretty awesome. So I get to talk about all this stuff now, and I get to let some stuff out, just because the Power Rangers were like one of the biggest things in like my early, as for like a lot of people for my generation, before Dragon Ball, I knew Power Rangers, and this was, we had the Green Ranger, where as a kid you got to see you're just a kid, right? He's in high school, and then he was under Rita's spell, and then he was a bad guy, and he went through what he went through, and then he had a chance to redeem himself, and he was able to become one of the good guys, and we saw that as kids, and like a journey that we were able to see. And for me personally, that was before Dragon Ball. So that guy and all the bad stuff he did, and then becoming a good guy. You know, it was Tommy Oliver doing that. Like, he was always like a big hero of mine. You know, he has long hair. I have long hair, and you know, he did martial arts and all this stuff. I'm just really happy that I was able to meet him with go get some stuff signed by him. I was able to tell him, you know, I don't want to be like a big old fanboy in front of him. I said a few words to him. I didn't go like crazy or anything, but it was like a big and you know, like I don't know if he realizes that. I think he gets that a lot. Talk to him, so you know, I was just really happy that I met him. And then the last news I heard, of course, I didn't really follow too much into that, but to find out that, you know, he self-deletion, you know, that was like another like big pain, big hurt. And I don't know, it's like really rough. You know, we had all this stuff. I think he was just stepping into another creative chapter of his life, taken away from us. You know, it's rough. And some of my 2 cents on there. I know I've been tuning in and out of what y'all been saying. I just wanted to give my share. And I don't know, seeing Jason David Frank on Facebook, and I think I've watched about like 10 different. Some of them are really sad. You know, they show scenes from like the family, and I don't know. I just went into the stuff and projects and everything. So yeah, I just want.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to like. Honestly, it's like what we were saying earlier. Like what do you say in this kind of thing? Like, what do you like? I didn't have any. Well, that's kind of my MO anyway. But I didn't have anything really prepared. I
Yeah.
came on an hour. Like as soon as I got off work, I laid down because I had to wake up early. And then like at 7 o'clock, I started trying to look for videos, and I watched so many videos, and there's so many tribute videos. But like what
There's a
like
lot.
there's a tone. You
lot,
have to
yeah.
read the room. There's a tone. There's so much, and what is the best way for us to kind of give like and that's when I stumbled upon his video where he gives that speech about about making accomplishing what you want to accomplishing your dreams, your goals, striving, thriving, being successful, all these things. JDF, the thing is, when it comes to death, JDF is the kind of individual at speaking to him, getting to know him a little bit, hanging out with him. JDF isn't he's the kind of person that he knows if he had ever passed, he knew we would mourn him and we would celebrate, but we would celebrate his life.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of death. The whole point of death is to celebrate his memory, his life, his legacy, his accomplishments, everything he's done for his family, his kids, the fans, us, people that he's never met, strangers, everything he's ever done, everything he's ever accomplished, everything he has set his mind to. He went out and he did. And people are like, he died young. Yes, absolutely. He passed on young. But did he live a full life? Yes, I believe he lived a full life. I wish he could have been here longer so he could see his kids grow older. But
Yeah, because remember we talked
he was
to
suffering.
his younger daughter, and then I remember we were joking around that she needs to be prepared for all this stuff whenever her career takes. You remember that at Dragon's Lair?
We were joking around with him. We actually gave him a gift. I made a Power Ranger Dragon Ball drawing for him.
Oh, that's
It's
cool.
beautiful. He really happy with it, and then
He really liked
he
it
gave
because
us like
he
more
is a Dragon Ball fan.
selfies, more signatures. Yeah, he was
He
like,
is
oh, if only
he was at the
people up
premiere
top would know.
Right. He was at the premiere for Dragon Ball Super Broly, and the drawing that I gave him, it was it was the Lord Draken. I'm gonna see if I can find a photo.
I just shared it. You gotta scroll on my page if you want to find it quicker, because it's me and you and Jason David Frank, and then he's a morpher in a way.
Guys, I gotta head out.
All right. Thank you for being on the show.
No problem, man. And I thank you guys. It's been a rough, 24, 48 hours, and this was helpful.
Party
Just
though
real quick.
for the new movie. It's in March. For some reason all the Power Rangers movies come out. I believe this is around March 25th. Then we'll have a big old watch party.
Mm-hmm.
This was you can barely see it,
There you go.
but this was the gift we gave him.
Yeah.
Pretty
Oh
cool.
yeah, I remember that.
Looks nice.
It's on a sheet of metal too. It was really
It's
nice.
a metal print.
Nice.
Yeah, metal print. Yeah, he really
I
loved
actually really like
it, and then you could see it in the back of one of his videos they made.
Yeah, he really liked it, and I was really honored and privileged that he actually put it up and everything. It was we showed up, and me and Mo we counted our pennies for his autograph. We were counting our dollars. Hey man, we got enough. We got enough for for half an autograph.
Yeah,
maybe,
can I
maybe
get
some
just the
initials.
first name, please?
Yeah, he actually hooked it up too.
You can
He's
get
like, yeah,
Mr. Frank.
can you just can you just write a big J on my toy?
Oh man, what's up with that giveaway for that dragon sword though? I did hear that went on with that.
No, it's Lord Draken. I'm gonna figure that out eventually in the future. And we're not gonna do anything right now. We're not gonna talk about any giveaways. We're not gonna talk about any cons. We're not gonna talk about any promotions. We're just focusing on Jason and Frank. We are running out of time though. We're down to our last 10 minutes. Is there anything guys you would like to say, share, anything? It doesn't have to. It can be about JDF. It can be about suicide, mental health. It can be about anything.
I wanted to ask everyone. So we know that he played different Ranger characters. So what was y'all's favorite Ranger of Tommy? So I'll go first. So I actually wearing the Zeo stuff. So I like that one the best because it's just really different. I like shapes and stuff. So the suits are really awesome. It was like Egyptian kind of thing. Loved his helmet, which was a star. So it's actually the numbers of who they were. So he was Z05 red.
Can I just say something real quick? It's kind of funny that you say that's your favorite, and that was his least favorite.
Yeah. For me, it was the White Ranger. He had the Tiger Sword. I loved all that, and then his interactions with the sword. He's like, "Hey, okay, I'll take care of this." Team shoot lasers out of his eyes and stuff. So the White Ranger, I actually got some White Ranger shoes, and when I went with Goku to Dragon Slayer. So the White Ranger is my favorite.
We do have some comment. We actually have our first Gen Zer comment. They say I saw him as the Black Ranger from Dino Thunder.
Yeah.
All right, let's go with SJ. SJ, what was your favorite? Jason,
fuck.
David, Frank, Tommy. A lot of people are going to say the White Ranger. I can already see.
Yeah.
That.
A lot are. I don't know. I guess I'm technically torn between green, white, or actually the Black
All
Ranger.
of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not the
let's
red.
just say that.
Pick one.
I'm
I
not
picked
gonna,
all
I'm
of
not
them.
gonna. I've never been able to pick a one. Yeah, all of them. I'm just gonna say that.
You gotta pick one. You gotta rank them.
Ah, fuck it.
Just say it's white. You know it's white.
Why I gotta be white?
basic.
No, actually green. The Dragon Sword was pretty fucking awesome. The whole villain to hero thing was pretty cool that I remember back in the day. I think the Green Ranger.
What variation though? Green Ranger with dagger,
you.
Green Ranger with a dark sword, with
Look, she barely picked
Was
Green
it
Ranger.
good or evil, with or without the dragon
Yeah.
shield?
Right.
What episode?
Under the
What
spell or
episode?
not,
What
what
time?
scene
Timestamp?
specifically from the episode?
It was overcast that day.
It's overcast.
We're gonna Jace. What was your? I don't know if you're that familiar with JDF.
I like evil Green Ranger, the very first
Oh,
setup,
the
because
dick- the one
he
where he was a
proved
dick?
that If you're motivated enough, you can beat up 5 teenagers and take their shit.
Okay, can I just say something real quick? I just want to say something. That episode where he kicks the shit out of the team, where he walks in the Megazord,
Yeah.
the back door, and he's like, and then he yeets them out
Yeah.
like they're being
Now.
evicted.
There's a scene. There's a part that always makes me laugh though. There's a scene where Jason goes like, "You think you're so tough? Take me on!" And then Tommy goes like, "With pleasure," and he throws it. And
Yeah.
I always laugh at that, especially the explosions always make me laugh.
Yes.
I
just loved
really
it.
like. I thought the scene. Well, to go back to the scene, I do like the one where he throws the weapon at him. Like he ain't playing no games. He just yeeted it at them and they went down. When he yeets them out of the Megazord, you know what that's like? That's the equivalent of somebody walking in while you're in the shower and they just throw you out.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah. Yep.
You're still
Oh,
covered
you
in
Hell,
open
salt.
the door,
water.
kick him out of the car,
Yeah.
throw him out.
Yeah.
Tommy went
Yeah.
in there, grabbed Jason, threw him out of the shower while he was still soaking wet and covered in soap.
And then he got out of it and proceeded to beat the crap out of him too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like went out like he threw them out the same way Uncle Phil throws out Jazz, and then went outside to continue the ass whooping.
I was like,
Yep.
no, we're not done here.
Everyone fell in love with the bad guy that day because he was so cool. We were all raised to hate the bad guys. Even as kids, we didn't like the Joker the way we like him now.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone loved Tommy. He was the number one selling toy. So that's
Mm-hmm.
why people love the Green Ranger. I mean, look at this. They made a Hallmark Power Ranger ornament. Look at this. There's only one, and it's the Green Ranger. And
What-
he's in his.
Where'd you
I'm
say you
about
could
to
get that
roast
at?
the teenagers outside of a
It's
Walmart.
at Walmart. Yeah.
I
Walmart.
recommend buying this right now.
Yeah. It's at
Right now.
Walmart.
Get it on Amazon. Go to Walmart. Buy it right now because the scalpers are scalping. They're
Yeah.
taking advantage of the situation.
Yeah.
Sonic, what's your favorite?
Yeah, Sonic, you are last. Sonic is last but not least because he.
Quiet.
Yeah, like because earlier I brought it up too. I will say I did. Obviously, it's kind of the most cliched answer. The White Ranger and the Green Ranger, and like I mentioned, the first time I witnessed the Green Ranger, basically the episode we were just talking about, that was the moment I was like, man, he is so cool. Is he really? It was like he's the bad guy, but he's so cool. It's like one of the first. It's like a wrestling term, the first heel I actually cheered for. But yeah, like the way he looked, the dragon shield, and like when he came out the White Ranger and how that design looked really cool, like white and the gold, and
Right.
Heavens,
and it
literally
just,
dropped from the heavens. White
yeah, exactly.
Ranger.
And then and it's kind of cool, quite fitting with talking about it because I still have one of these OG coins right here,
Oh, nice.
Nice.
and it's
Nice.
like,
Oh, that's from the Legacy Morpher from Bandai.
yeah, this is like a '90s one though. This is like
No, that's diecast metal. That's the Legacy line.
really, huh?
Right, because the 93, 94 ones, they have like little. What are they called? I'll
The
grab them.
ridges.
The ridges.
Yes,
Yeah.
the ridges. Because
Yeah,
the
it's
new
got-
ones have them.
Yeah, it's got ridges in
The
it
new
too.
ones have them, but they're still they're diecast metal.
Mm.
Yeah, but I
That's
still,
diecast metal, so that one's worth more.
yeah. So anyway, like I grew up watching, the Power Rangers, and like the White Ranger design looked cool. The Green Ranger, just the way he looked, and for me, my favorite color was always blue, so I was related to the Blue Ranger. But then seeing that, I was like, dude, he looks so cool in that, and then when he was doing the Black Ranger in Dino Thunder, I thought that was a cool design too, like the way it looked, and also it was Zeo, right? He was red and he had the star
Yep,
and the helmet.
yeah.
That was really cool. I was like, dude, I'm not used to Tommy as red. I'm used to him
Red,
as green
right.
or white. It's like, but it was so
Yeah.
cool. It's just it's just the way he looked and just the design. And I'm not gonna take away from the other Rangers, obviously, but it's just like something that when he debuted as a Green Ranger and the White Ranger, just like
Right.
it just like he had the it factor per se. It was to the point where like kids at the time was like, all right, we're gonna pretend let's play Power Rangers. You're gonna be the Red Ranger. I'm gonna be the White Ranger. It's like, why do I gotta be the Red Ranger? I want to be the White Ranger too.
Nice.
And then the
Yeah.
Lightning collection. I actually owned the White Ranger one. I remember GameStop had it on clearance during the pandemic, and I took advantage of it. It was such a cool figure and all that.
This is the one that's autographed. You can
And-
see it.
Noise.
and that design too, the Lord Draken
Draken.
looks so cool. I was like, bro, that looks so awesome, man.
And then Jetty.
Sonic, the piggyback off what you said. I was a Blue Ranger fan as well. That's why I had a onesie and I got
Yeah.
old school.
Me
But
too.
I didn't like that they didn't let David Yost be
Triceratops!
the White Ranger. That's what I was upset about. It was supposed
Yeah.
to be David Yost being the White Ranger. They gave
Yeah,
it to
should've been
Tommy. It's
Billy.
like, no, he's already got a stupid color.
This is by far these are the dumbest figures Hasbro has ever made, by the way.
What, articulation wise?
The metallic Rangers, they're just the original molds covered in glitter.
Glitter.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you can see the glitter if I zoom in.
Yeah.
It's
That
always
makes
about
them
the glitter.
So you need to save.
Yeah.
You need like a
the
product
Armstrong
review
edition.
video. Every
I'm not
time a new
opening
Power
this.
Ranger toy comes out, you need to make.
No, we're good. We're good on the products. So I'm just a little ashamed that nobody brought up the fact that he was the Red Turbo Ranger.
Yeah.
Okay, honestly, only because he was the Red Turbo Ranger for half the season.
Not even like a quarter. Like a
The
quarter.
black
of the
guy.
season.
The black guy.
Nobody
was the
liked
Turbo
him.
Ranger.
Nobody. What? No, y'all mean to tell me y'all didn't like Tommy when he was the Red Ranger with his big Chevy logo on his helmet?
Oh,
Chevy.
like the black guy as him. That was cool.
Oh, who was the Chevy one? Who had the Ford logo?
When they switched teams.
Like, that was the blue one.
My favorite.
I mean, the kid's still annoying as hell, but when they switched over the teams, like, sorry guys, I thought.
Let me see, which one is my favorite? Tommy.
It's hard to choose.
It really is. I think my favorites would have to go. I'm going to go with the comics. My
The comics?
favorite is when he actually got to play the role of Lord Draken for the trailer.
Yeah, that was
When
really
he
cool for
sits
him.
in Lord Zed's chair and he's watching the multiverse and he's like, and he sits there and he's like, they squandered their power. And then he turns his head, he looks at the camera, he's like, they could have been gods.
Yes, that
That
was
was
like
fucking cold.
chills. That was chills.
Just why you don't give teenagers too many rights.
I
Yeah.
like the fact that Tommy embraced Lord Draken. And for anyone that's read the comics, you
Yes.
fucking absolutely hate Lord Draken until you find out. And it's sad too, because Lord Draken created a universe where people loved him and didn't fear him. Where he was an orphan, and he made Rita and Zordon his parents.
Mm.
And ironically, he made what's his face, Doggy Kruger, the house dog. I love Lord Draken. I love Tommy's portrayal of Lord Draken. I like the fact that he actually gave them cliff notes on Tommy. I love Lord Draken so much because he's evil, but only because he was alone, because he was misunderstood. He had problems, he had issues, and I think that reflects a lot on a lot of us.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes, guys, even if we don't talk that much, I will reach if I know something's wrong or something happens, or I'm gonna be honest. I will address the elephant in the room in the podcast. I reached out to SJ. I wanted SJ to come back today. Why? I mean, sometimes death is not an ending. Sometimes death is a new beginning. And for those of you that have family, for those of you that suffer from mental health, for those of you that have friends, family, it's like they said in Daredevil, you have to hold on to the ones you love. And when they push you away, you have to find the strength to hold on tighter. As tragic as Jason's passing is, because this is something that a lot of us are gonna need time to heal from.
Yep.
We need to
Absolutely.
use this as a message that mental health is a real problem that we have to address. How many more people do we have to lose before we acknowledge the fact that mental health is real? And it's not just anxiety, it's not just depression. Remember, people suffer all the time. Chris Benoit, we brought him up, is a good example of mental problems. A lot. Look at all the celebrities that are there. They have money. They have all this nice shit, but they still passed on because they suffered. I don't believe in goodbye. I know one day I will get to see all those that I loved that have passed on again. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. I don't force my beliefs on others. I just know that one day I will say hello to them once again. Thank you, Jason, for everything. I don't know, maybe thank you, Jason, for being a part of my life. Thank you for being a part of our generation where we strive to make a difference, where things will get better, things will change for the best, things eventually we will reach the end of the tunnel to the light. It takes time, it takes willpower, it takes drive. We have to keep pushing and we have to keep moving. We mourn and celebrate the life of Jason David Frank. On behalf of Geeks 5 Ever, we send our thoughts, our prayers, our condolences to Jason's family, his children, his friends, everybody that he's ever touched. But with that being said, our box is open, guys. If y'all need to talk in private, we won't judge you. I can't judge you because, like I said, what Jason went through, I almost went through. Like, it's something that I can say that I didn't do it. If I had gone through with it, I would not be here. It's something I can say that I understand. I don't know what he went through, but I understand it. I get it. I don't, I'm not upset at him. I don't think he's selfish. I think at the end of the day, he's no longer suffering because God only knows what he was going through. Because, and we said this, and I will say it once again, we never saw, a lot of us. There might have been a few people that knew, but I guarantee you that 90% of us didn't know, no clue. No, this was out of nowhere, and it's heartbreaking, and it's enough to make us all cry. And some of us did when we had our opening video. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. And for the men out there that suffer in silence, and for the women as well, you don't have to suffer in silence. Admitting that you're not strong enough to go at something alone is not weakness. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask for a shoulder to lean on, a hand to help you up, somebody to help you move forward, someone to push you, someone to give you the drive. Guys, don't take those you love for granted. With that being said, does anyone have anything last to say? We kind of went over our time. Any closing comments? Anything?
So not comments, but on social media. So even like the viewers are watching too. So if you have like toy morphers, like whatever it is, like Power Rangers, so people were posting like on their stories or as a post. So all you do, like you just put like your toy morpher up in the air and you take a picture, and that's just a way of just bringing awareness just for Jason David Frank. So I did it last night, and so other people are doing the same thing. So they're still trying to keep that going on. So that's what's going on social media to remember Jason David Frank.
Yeah, I wanted to wait until we did the podcast before I posted anything. So I will be making a post. I'm probably look. Let me tell you something. These are still sealed, and I'm like this close to opening them and making like a little like memorial thing with them. I got to think long and hard before I open those. I'm probably just gonna open the ones that are already open, but I wanted to wait until the show. Yeah, but guys, go ahead if you have anything Jason, David, Frank related. Keep it going. Keep it going. We want to keep that trend going because I've seen it in the groups as well. Um, anyone else want to? Any last comments? Any last words?
Uh, well, I just want to say that he will truly be missed, but will never be forgotten. And just want to say, rest in power to
Yes.
Jason David Frank, and he's a hero forever to me and to anybody who's ever watched Power Rangers. Even if you weren't a fan of it, at least knew like how iconic Power Rangers was. And
Yes.
he said in the beginning, what your legacy is. His legacy that he pretty much in a way, like changed the life of some of people out there who ever watched Power Rangers, whether it's originally on Fox Kids or whether it was on like reruns. Just knowing that, okay, he did something that he wanted to do. He got to be like an idol to people. He became someone's hero. I'm sure had it not been for watching an episode with him in it, their path would be different. It sounds kind of cheesy, but I feel like he made an impact. And I just want to say to Jason David Frank, thank you for everything you've done for my life, contributing part of my life, and everyone else here, and anybody who's watching the podcast, anybody who's commented, anybody who is a fan. Just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and we rest in power. Yeah.
Is there anybody else that would like to say anything? Any closing moments? There's one thing I want to say, and then we're gonna go ahead and close. If you guys have nothing, it's a little. It's a poem, but it's not a poem. Sorry, it's like a speech. It's a meme. So it says, "I cannot tell you how thankful I am for our little infinity. I wouldn't trade it for the world. You gave me a forever within the numbered days, and for that I am grateful." All right, guys. I want to say thank you for watching the podcast. We might do something on Friday just to go back to our regular scheduled program because we got to get back on schedule. But we wanted to focus on JDF today, focus on the fans, focus on you guys. Thank you all for coming by to share your thoughts, your memories, your everything, your stories, your people that that have mental health issues. Remember the suicide prevention line 988 is a very important number. I want you guys to write that down. Share with anyone, even if they are not having mental health issues. Pass it on.
Yeah. And it's not just that number. The old number still works, but this is just a new one, to make it, quicker. And like I said, you call or text it. Someone's out there to help you. Do not think that nobody's out there to help you. There is someone out there, and you're not alone in this fight.
You're not. You're not, guys. As every Power Ranger has ever said, go forth and may the power protect you. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night.